Are you interested in expanding your art practice? Well, you're in the right place because today we're going to be chatting about a Master's of Fine Art at the Academy of Fine Arts in Finland. We're going to talk about admissions, how to make a great portfolio, what studying is like, everything you need to know. So listen on. We are live. Okay.
Wow. Hello, people.
Hello, people. Yeah. So we're still waiting for some people to join before we jump into everything. So maybe while we're waiting, we could just like introduce ourselves a little bit before we start. So I can start. My name is Ellie. Welcome everybody. Today we are at the Academy of Fine Arts in Finland, and I myself am from Australia, and I'm studying in the printmaking department. And I have a very science art-based practice. So, yeah.
I'm Dua. I'm from Pakistan, and I'm also like Ellie studying in printmaking. And I'm a first-year master's student. And yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with everybody.
I'm Soyoung. I am a second year master's student at the Time and Space, and I'm from South Korea, and I've been living in Finland for 7 years now. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carassa. I'm first year master's student, also Time and Space, from the Netherlands originally, and I've been here since January when the year started.
My name is Erika Aspholm, and I work as the admissions coordinator here in the Fine Arts Academy.
So let's jump into it. For you, my first question is, when does everything happen?
Absolutely. So the application period for the Fine Arts Master program is in August, and it lasts for 2 weeks. The exact dates are from the 7th to the 21st of August. And in the application, the applicants are asked to provide us with document demonstrating their educational background, document demonstrating their language proficiency, and then finally, we want to see the application materials. So that means a study plan, a CV, and the work portfolio. And you can find all of this information from the admissions guide on our website. So that is uniarts.fi/mfa-apply. And then based on the applications, some applicants will be invited to take part in an interview. The interviews are held between the 21st and 29th of October, and all of the interviews will be held remotely, so there is no need to travel to Helsinki at any point during the admission process. And lastly, the admission results will be published on 5th of November, and then studies will start in January 2025.
Very cool. And how do students prove their language proficiency? Because this has changed, I think.
There are several ways, like quite a lot of ways, to prove the language proficiency. So I recommend you go to our website. We will put the link to the comment section. But basically it ranges from if you have done studies previously in English, that's fine. And also we accept a lot of different kinds of language tests. But if you're following this chat now, most likely your level of English is just fine because it's not very high, the level we require. If you're familiar with the CERF certificate, I think it's B1 that we're requiring at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. And is there an age limit for applying?
No. Anyone can apply.
Yeah, even if you're 100?
Yes.
Wow, that'd be so cool. And then what about tuition fees? Is it free?
Well, that really depends on your background and where you're coming from. So we do have tuition fees for students coming outside of EU, EEA, and Switzerland studying a degree program in English. So if this is your background, that you're coming from outside of the EU and such areas, the fee for students starting in 2025 is 12,000 euros per academic year, but it is possible to apply for a 50% waiver from the tuition fee. So then it would be only 6,000 euros.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's gone up.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
gone
know.
up this year.
Oh golly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, what news? I'm shocked. Really. Golly. Well, thank you very much for that information. I hope it was useful. So, and you've all been through this process. Congratulations for getting here. Can you please tell us how you managed to go through this process? What was it like, and what do you think made your portfolio what made you think your portfolio get accepted?
I think, well, for me, I got it here. I started studying this master degree last year, January, so 2023, January. And if I remember correctly, I tried to kind of make my portfolio as various as possible to present my curiosity, my kind of interest to explore different mediums. Because I heard that it's very important to make your portfolio looks like multifarious, and it shows that you have a much interest in various mediums and methods. So I think I tried to make my portfolio really colorful, like oh, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thing. As I knew that I wanted to apply for this school because of the video sort of opportunities in a way, because I'm doing performance art, and my issue was always the documentation of it, because I would just press the button and kind of hope for the best in a way, like, okay, I hope it's clear and everything is in focus. And so I knew when I saw all the opportunities here that you can really have such good classes in it. That was kind of my focus. So I really presented the performance works, and also like actually wrote next to them that it's bad documentation, like you should have been there, but that's what I want to focus on as well. I was really honest with it while I applied. But like I have a little bit of a past in painting, so I just threw this in as well. Like, so I do this too. Maybe I'm gonna add them to performances in the background. I don't know. I want like front, back, both. You know what I mean? Like to make it really show that I was willing to learn and experiment, but with a sort of a clear path, like performance and documenting it well and having a touch of myself in it. You know, so yeah, similar sort of situation in a way, yeah.
That's really nice. So like diversity, honesty, goals.
Yeah.
Clear focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say that it's also important to have, or it certainly was in my case, to exercise some editing skills, to know also what to keep out of the portfolio. That certainly helped me, because I had so much that I wanted to share, and towards the end, the closer I got to the application date, the more selective I started becoming. And I think it also kind of helped me figure out what direction I wanted my practice to continue in through the master's program. So I think a bit of both. I mean, sure, like show your curiosity, but also like be a good editor yourself.
Oh, right, like how you present it on the page and so.
That also, and to know what to keep out also, like being selective about what you want to share in your portfolio, and to know how to trim out the excess details.
Yeah, that's a really good point, how just going through the admission process will help you find your artistic direction.
Yeah. It absolutely did in my case. Like I think I actually ended up having a clearer idea of what I wanted to take forward, what I perhaps wanted to not take forward. The compilation of the portfolio helped with that.
Yeah. And then do you have any other tips or valuable experiences of the other aspects of the admission process? For example, the interview?
I think it really, in my case, it helped to share my enthusiasm and a sort of like a rough plan of all that I wanted to learn. And I think that kind of was really fun, because then it was kind of contagious, and then the professors were kind of like really excited, and I was excited, and we were like kind of feeding off of each other's enthusiasm for all the possibilities that, that awaited.
I think it's also very important to be confident about your work.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you're confident about your goal and the objective, what you really want to achieve during
Yeah.
these studies and everything. But at the same time, as we all agree, that it's also very significant to show your willingness to experiment different mediums, and at the same time combine your original ideas that you have been kind of pursuing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also in a way showcasing that you do understand where particular things in your work are coming from, or if that makes sense. Like I know with my work that a lot of music inspires me. So at the end, when they asked like what sort of other hobbies or things, or are you interested in, I was like, yeah, I love music. They were like, yeah, okay, we got that. So it's kind of it's nice that you sort of also kind of understand it in such a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Any final tips for people wanting to apply before we go on to a new topic?
Just be curious about everything. Like, yeah, be interested in any mediums that's coming up, just anything. Yeah.
And be honest, I would say.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
honest.
Yeah.
Confident.
Like you don't have to use weeks and weeks to write an application motivation letter. Just honesty. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. And I forgot to mention to our wonderful audience, if you have any questions, now is your opportunity to ask them. Oh, we have a question. So the question was, what are the chances of being selected if you have a background in architecture?
Well, it doesn't mean that you cannot apply for sure, but it would be helpful if you have an art practice. If your background is in architecture or something else that is not fine arts, it's important that you have a strong practice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like everything can relate to art. Like it just needs to be connected to art. Yeah. Yeah. And what was our second question? Yeah. So the question is, does already having a master's degree make it harder to get chosen?
Not necessarily, no.
I
don't
feel
think
like
so.
it might even make it stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The admission jury is responsible for
Yeah.
looking at the overall picture, so it's difficult to give an answer for this.
Definitely.
But not necessarily, no.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like people that are admitted to the school generally have like backgrounds and practices already. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're studying with several people for whom this is their second master's degree,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's quite open.
Yeah. This is a great question. What happens after graduation? Like this master's degree is so short.
Well, that question is to me, like because I'm second year student, and I recently had the Kuvankeva, which is the the degree show, master's degree show. So, and apparently a lot of students they just continue their life as an artist by applying a different grant. But also some people they apply to work in the galleries or museums as a technicians, curators. But for me, at least, I'm trying to also build a careers in the field of curation to vary my career, my life. Yeah. So I would say it's the life after you graduate is so broad. It can be anything. Yeah. You can choose any path, I guess. Yeah. Or some people they even I think work in some company, like as an illustrator or designer. Apparently.
I wouldn't know it. I have to live it yet. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like all I can say is after graduating from the bachelor, for me it really helped to have a year in between in a way to sort of figure out stuff. So it can sort of, I can only assume, again, feel like a little bit of a sort of a black pit that you fall into, if that makes sense. But yeah, you never know. I would say just to keep an eye out on maybe also open calls and to see what is out, like apprenticeships or residencies. I always love to continue to be a student for a long time, not necessarily a student in masters and that particular system, because it is of course also financially, you cannot continue to do that. But it is always nice to kind of remain for a little bit in these spaces of learning, even though they might seem like you are really taught anything. An experience somewhere can actually teach you a lot. So I feel like that is always something you can do to fill the void of not having any sort of academic system around you. Yeah, but I don't know. I have to go through that. I don't know. Yeah.
But this is really good. Like, continue learning, and I really like how, as an artist, we do actually have so many things we can do, like curation, writing, teaching, and so on. Yeah.
And there's so much now happening at the intersection of these things also.
Yeah.
You know, like, and there are like indie presses and publishing houses, and it's quite a happening scene overall, like the cultural sector. So I'm sure it'll be easy. Well, not easy, but I'm sure it'll be possible to find something that suits you.
And some students, they even decide to become an entrepreneur. They just like hold their own business.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very doable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I feel excited to graduate now.
Oh wow, for me, yeah, I'm really excited to graduate.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about language? Because I don't think any of you speak Finnish.
I speak some.
You speak some. Yeah. What's your experiences of language in the university?
Well, everybody's been really accommodating, I would say, for us English-speaking students. So, you know, a lot of allowances made for us, and to make sure that we're on the same page. So within the university, at least, I haven't really faced any sort of linguistic barrier so far, which has been nice.
Same for me. Like every professor, the students, everyone is so fluent in speaking English. So, like, yeah, you can definitely complete the degrees with just speaking only English.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Nothing more to add. Yeah, no.
But then what about the Finnish side? Have you been learning Finnish or using Finnish?
Well, no, not in this school, but I think you can take some like basic skills, the basic Finnish skill courses. Yeah, if you have a strong willingness to learn it.
Yeah, I think like 2 levels even that you can do. So when you don't know anything of it, you can start with the first level basically. And if you know a little bit already, you can, I think, do a test and then apply for the second level. And they were like, okay, yeah, you can come into this class. Provided by the academy, so that's really nice. In the Sibelius Academy, so for music that is, it's in a different building. But yeah, so there are opportunities to learn Finnish. But it is, of course, another course, so you do have to take that into account. You know, no, because you have the courses and then you have your practice, so you do have to take it into account. Are you willing? Are you able? All that.
Yeah. In the office, is everything in Finnish?
In the office?
Yeah. In the planning sector, coordinating sector.
No, I mean, we have the admission jury members. Many of them are English speaking. Obviously, they're your professors, so that's why the processes might be held in English. Yeah. But in the study office, they're in Finnish. But obviously, if we have English-speaking students, they will get guidance in English.
Yeah. Cool. And do you think you would like to learn any Finnish while you're here, or?
I think so. Yeah. Even now, like listening to some of my classmates converse in Finnish, I do kind of get intrigued, and I think I would want to learn, definitely.
Well, for me, I've been here for 7 years, so I happen to learn. Like it's a survivor language. Yeah. But I think it's always good to have an interest in learning Finnish if you decide to study here, because then you will get a more different opportunities to engage with Finnish people or have some different experiences with speaking only Finnish like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and knowing Finnish, I think, gives a lot of advantages after graduation.
Yeah, definitely, especially like to get a job.
Yeah.
Like, or get promoted like that.
Okay, so going back in time a little bit, when you were first applying to this university, what made you choose and apply to this specific university?
Well, personally, I think it was very important for me to find an MFA program that was studio-based and studio-focused, or at least a program that certainly allowed a more hands-on approach to art making in addition to research or theory, because that's how I like to work. Like I want a more engaged kind of approach with making art. So so that certainly helped, and I also really liked how it's structured around these like 4 study areas. And I'm also the kind of person who likes a bit of structure for my studies. So I think all these factors appealed to me. And then the way printmaking, which is my study area, was presented on the website and how it was kind of introduced was also quite exciting because it was mentioned right off the bat that it's not just traditional printmaking, but it's also looking at more innovative forms of printmaking, which combines digital, analog. So that energy kind of appealed to me.
Virgo? Yeah. Well, for me, this school has been known as one of the most prestigious art school in Finland. So as I say, I have completed my bachelor degree in Tampere, which is 2 hours away from here. And this school is just one of the, I would say the best art school for the art students who wanted to continue their life as an artist. So that, of course, that's the one of the reasons I apply here. But another reason could be that here we have really good facility and workshop for the students. And also, this is quite rare to provide individual studio spaces for the art students. Because in my previous school, we didn't get any individual studios. We have like communal spaces that everyone should share. But here, you can keep your privacy, but at the same time, you can meet different people and then develop your art practices. So I think I was really fascinated about this fact that here we have the good facilities and also supportive workshops where we can develop and also experiment different mediums. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I kind of had the same thing, that I was looking for a master that offered studio spaces as well. But also, I remember when I graduated or was about to graduate from my bachelor, I did a performance, and a teacher of mine came up to me and was like, if you want to continue with performances, then I would advise you to look at the masters in northern countries, because they are so much further advanced in their documentation of it and how they view it. Video art, performance art, it's not, of course it's a different thing, but it's very sort of, it's not viewed as this lesser form of art in a way, as sometimes still painting can really hold this, the candle, so to say, but yeah, that was for me like a reason. Okay, let's look at the northern countries then. What do they offer? What do they have? And then this one really stuck out continuously. And then I looked on the website what they could offer, and it was the studios that they had, and like all the things that you can rent, or not even like borrow. It's not even rent. It's just borrowing equipment, like video cameras of a really good sort, and and microphones, and you can just test it out, and you have it for a week, and you can extend it and all that, and it's fantastic, and it's for free because it's part of the studies, so it's amazing. So yeah, I would say that.
Cool. I think we have another question from our audience. So the question is, what are all of the different art mediums that you can access while studying? So I think, we're from printmaking. So there's all of the printmaking workshops, and then
From Time and Space.
Time and Space.
Yeah. So in Time and Space, how to explain? I mean, for me, like I was actually, I was just really intrigued to get the access and get the opportunity to explore in the, the Fab Lab,
Art technology.
Art and technology, because that's really rare for the art student to combine and explore. So I got a lot of chances to explore and find out the way to really combine my art and also emerging technologies, which I'm really interested in. So I think that's one of the examples I could mention, that you can really explore the emerging technologies such as VR, AR, 3Ds, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also analog filmmaking, for example, like it's a lot of digital as well what they have, but analog filmmaking, analog photography then, of course, as well.
Yeah.
For time and space. Yeah, and you can also, I think, follow these classes from Sibelius or from the Theatre Academy. So that's a bit different, of course, in terms of it's not really accommodated in a way to your chosen, so to say, how do you call it, department, but you can choose it and you can actually be accepted into those courses. And so yeah, you can in a way really tailor make your course package.
Yeah, there's a lot of choice.
Yeah.
And then we don't have anybody from painting here, but there's a painting department, which is, I don't really know what happens there. Painting.
And sculpture?
And then there's sculpture. They have a sculpture workshop, and there's metal casting and glass and woodwork.
And I think apparently in the painting they also learn how to produce the what is the pigment? The actual pigments,
They
and
have like
also
a paint factory, and they
and then how to build the canvas, and they go really deeply go through the material.
glues and primers and sorry.
Sorry. And I just wanted, there's also in the sculpture area, there's also a soft material workshop. So like a sewing machine for leather, for normal,
nice,
for all. Yeah. So
There
that's
was like weaving and net
weaving.
making.
Yeah.
And tufted rugs. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I should use that before I
We
graduate.
can use that.
Oh
Actually,
my god, I
yeah.
should go there. Yeah.
You can just go inside.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing other amazing spaces. And then we can also take courses from other universities.
Oh yeah, right.
Which has been really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. We have another question. So the question is, are there any examples of past successful applications that can be looked at? And I think not.
No, we haven't published anything for private, but you can tell about your successful applications because you're here.
I feel like it's usually kept private, like unless you have put your portfolio online or anything.
If I remember correctly, I submit the CV, portfolio, cover letter.
Yeah.
That's it, I think. And I try to keep those three things how can I say? I try to keep my own colors into those three different things so they can see that there's my own identity into it, but at the same time show that I have a strong will to explore different things. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's helpful, but what I did in my portfolio and also in my application letter is I didn't really, in a way, make them feel as though they were a different thing, if that makes sense. So in terms of what I wrote down was the same energy because I did it quite quickly. Like in a way, I had it put in my agenda and I really wanted to apply for it, but strangely enough, like it's this thing that you wait for, like I'll do it tomorrow. Like it's not, I don't have the headspace. I'll do it tomorrow. And then it was the final day and I had like an hour left, so I was, behind my laptop, and that's kind of how it all came together. I feel like so, like even in my portfolio, like in brackets, I put things like, okay, and this would actually be there, and I put that as well in my motivation letter. So it felt very sort of. I think if you read it back, you feel that energy of like, okay, let's do it. So I don't know if that's helpful, but I mean, I feel like we already answered something like that. But yeah.
Remember to keep your own color.
Yeah.
Your own character, color, feature in the three different CV, cover letter, and portfolio. Yeah,
and the cover letter is sort of like a personal statement, right? Where you also describe your motivations and what you're hoping to get from the program, I think. And I would just like to add, I agree with all of what you guys said. I would just like to add that it's also okay to, or at least in my application, I also, in my cover letter or personal statement, I also put some concerns that I had about my own practice, like things that I was grappling with, things that I wasn't necessarily satisfied with, because that kind of helped give an idea of some sort of conflict that through my work in the master's I aim to resolve. And I think that makes it also more human and more...
and that could become your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions. Keep them coming if you have anything in mind.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like in this we've kind of like answered some of my questions just straight away. So like we've talked about the facilities, so that there's like heaps of amazing facilities, and that if you have a art practice that you can try other things. I'm wondering, so I think you both actually have performance art studies. Has there been courses that support this, or is there like a performance art culture in the school?
Yes, there are. Yes, there have been, and I have took one performance courses, and it was really nice. The course was running by Maija Mustonen. She's also my examiner, and the main medium in the course was our own body. So we try to kind of an own body with a touch. So we try to touch each other's and then kind of explore the different like a body choreography. And the reason why I really liked the course was the different range of experiment. Like she really gave us a lot of freedom to do whatever we want in the performance. So there is not really strict curriculum or way to really follow the performance in the course. So yeah, it was really free and really open to anything. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I took one performance class which was more theoretical. So it was about just the history, basically, of performance, which was nice. Yeah, but I would also say that it depends, of course, on what kind of a performative practice you have. But what I really liked were the site and situation specific courses as well. So, for example, the one that I will be taking in August is that you go out on the street, and that will be sort of your working space in a way. Like you have to figure a workout for that specific area, or you know what I mean, like that locality. So, like it really depends if you work more from out a place or from out your body, or yeah. So it's really broad in a way, yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I really like how these diverse art practices are supported.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So maybe we could talk a little bit about Finland. Have like you all moved here to Finland recently or been living here for a little while?
Yeah, 7, soon 8 years. And you're like, yeah. Well, but I came here because of my boyfriend. I have a Finnish boyfriend, so been together like 8 years. So yeah. But at the same time, the Finnish education is so popular, so famous all around the world. So
Yeah. I came in January, so I applied, got accepted. That's a thing, by the way. It's quite quick. So
Yeah.
because you apply, like the final date is the end of August, or like one of those final days in August, and then I think it was in October, the end of October, that I had my chat, like the online chat. And then in the middle of November something, I think I got my email that, okay, you're accepted. And then you have to accept that you're accepted. And then like it's around beginning of December, you have to find a place to stay, and it starts in January. So yeah, that's something else. But
Yeah.
it is doable, very doable, because there are a lot of Facebook pages for that as well, and HOAs. Maybe it's nice to link those. Could be an option. But in terms of living here, yeah, since January, and it's nice. It's of course in the winter it's cold and there's snow and wind and all that, but you get used to that. So yeah, no, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the same as for you coming in January.
No, I've been here a year almost actually, because I moved here in last August with my partner who got into university here. And then I also, like you, I just I had started working on my application already before moving here, but then right upon moving here, I just I think there were a few days to go before the deadline.
Yeah.
And I applied,
Yeah.
and then I got in.
It's terrible, right? And it's in your mind the entire time. You're like, I should apply for this.
Yeah, with me, it also had to obviously because we were packing up, and so sort of wrapping everything up back in Lahore, and sort of so the application was there, but it was it was so chaotic that time for me. But
I forgot. I think you can save it in a way, right?
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
write on
yeah.
it and then save
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
That's nice to know, maybe as well. Yeah, that you can do
But
that.
mentally, I was, just like tweaking my application when I was flying from Lahore to Istanbul to Helsinki. I was mentally working on my application. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And what, like, out of studying here and also being in Finland, what's been the hardest part or the worst part?
The winter for me was pretty challenging because, yes, I was warned by plenty of people that it's going to be particularly harsh, considering that I'm from the part of the world that gets a lot of sun throughout the year. But nothing would have really prepared me for how intense it was. And I think this time around, as everybody now keeps saying, it was particularly drawn out. But then I think when the weather opened up so nicely, I think it was worth it suffering through that because
Yeah.
the spring has been just amazing this
God.
time.
Oh
It's
my God.
like it's
The summer days. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the winter was challenging. It really was, yeah. But I think it's a sort of a combination of a sort of for me the language it's really something completely different than what I was used to in a way. So I didn't, because there was a lot of changes, so I didn't really feel like I was going to be able to do the courses in Finnish that they gave, the Finnish lessons. So I attended a few and then I was like, okay, it's too much. I'm just going to focus on the studies and maybe I'm going to do it next semester. But so it's a bit of a combination of everything to the extremes in a way, but that's nothing bad, I would say. It's just part of going to a new country. So I think that's just the thing, that you have to adapt to that and get to know the spirit of that country and how people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, but I mean, well, already I've been here some years, so, but I mean, I have some international friends who have been kind of sharing what challenges I've been having, so I could maybe mention that. Like, for example, I think if I can may talk about Finnish people, they are very introvert. They are not that social people, to be honest. So, like, it take some time for international students to make a Finnish friends. You have to know that. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. It is possible, but just they are
It is
very
possible, yeah.
introverted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I recommend you to make a friends before winter coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something. You do sense a change in people now that the sun is out and there's more happiness around. I feel like people say hi in the bus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. But,
Finnish
yeah.
people easily get affected by weather.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We have another question. So the question was, what are the possibilities of learning Finnish and the possibility of taking language courses? And now we're on my favorite topic. So what were you going to say?
No, it's basically, I think every Tuesday and Friday is the class, because I did a bit of it for the Finnish First, I think it's called. And that's like you don't know anything about it and you have to learn like hello, good morning, days of the weeks and 1, 2, 3, 4 and all those things. And then you kind of go more advanced and you learn, I think it's called verbs, how to, like use, all that. But it's on Tuesdays and Fridays, and it's in the Sibelius Academy, so that is in a different building, about 20 minutes away from here, like half an hour, maybe door to door, with the public transport. And the classes take an hour, hour and a half. You can also watch them online if you cannot go a specific day, or if you can never go to that building, you can watch it online, which is a little bit of a chaotic thing, but you can try. And because I didn't do the full thing, I don't know how to say how it eventually ends, but I heard from friends of mine that you do a test and it always ends with singing a song in Finnish together, a children's song.
What is the song? Oh my
I
God.
don't know. That's the one thing I would know. Yeah. But yeah, so that's a really nice teacher. I don't remember her name, but I don't know if she's going to do it again, but it's nice. It's nice to get to know the language a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can add in some things. So in the university is Finnish courses 1 to 4. and Sanna is the usual teacher. She's like super lovely. And there's also sometimes this singing in Finnish course, which is also super lovely. And then we have the possibility of taking Finnish courses from other universities. So Aalto has Finnish 1 to 8. And then also University of Helsinki has Finnish courses. They have a really good one, a grammar one, advanced grammar one. Yeah. Yeah. What's your perspective on people learning Finnish? Like you like, haha, they'll never get there. Or like, yay, it's too tricky.
I've met many internationals in Finland who have learned the language like fluently, so it's definitely possible.
Definitely possible.
If you're motivated, but it is hard. It
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
But I can tell that the Finnish people really appreciate it because we know it's hard.
Yeah. That's really good to hear that Finnish people appreciate it.
Yeah, they are very happy when if you say just at least moi or like, like they're like, oh, you can speak, like we should help you to speak that. Let's speak Finnish.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really, really good. Yeah. And we've also written some blog posts on how to learn Finnish and what Finnish is like. So I will put them in the description and the chat. Do we have any other questions? So the question is, should illustrators who make prints of their paintings and books choose printmaking or painting department? And is it so that for masters, like you can't change department?
No, I don't think so.
Like you just pick one and you're there?
Yeah, because you have only 2 years of studies, which is quite short. But in the bachelor's, it is possible.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I would say printmaking sounds like a better bet.
Yeah. And I feel like we're both in printmaking department. We know how awesome it is.
Yeah, it's because it's pretty flexible and you can, I mean, if you're particularly interested in making books, I think the printmaking offers like a bunch of courses geared towards that.
Yeah.
I think what might be a tip as well is something that I did too, is to look up the study guide of past years.
Oh, yeah.
To see a little bit the courses that they have.
Yeah.
And then keep in mind that the department that you're in, for example, you choose painting, so then you're in painting. Any course that painting offers and you apply for it, you are shortlisted, so to say. Like, for example, if there are only 12 students allowed in the course, you are then shortlisted more so than others because you're from that department, so it's in a way made for your department, for your studies. So if you're choosing painting but you want to apply for a lot of courses of printmaking, you know what I mean, then you do maybe not get all the opportunity to follow those courses because the printmaking students get shortlisted for those courses. So that might be
But still you can take the courses no matter which department you are in. You can take any courses from every department.
Yeah. But that's a really good point, like looking at the past courses. And I'm also just wondering, because like with this preference thing, like I know, for example, sculpture courses are like very, very difficult for non-sculpture students to get into. And I feel like also in printmaking, it's very difficult for non-printmaking students to get into. But maybe in painting, it's like a little bit easier because like time and space courses, I feel like generally have more space. But I'm not actually sure.
I don't
hard to
know,
say.
Yeah, it's just that you do notice that the department you're in, sort of if you've chosen a course from that department, chances are you're going to get in. You don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course you can always try and you never know. But it would just be a waste, not a waste, but it would be such a shame in a way if you would apply for a lot of printmaking but you're in painting and then you cannot really, it's always be sort of a gamble in a way, like, okay, let's hope. So that's.
But I love our department so much. Yeah, it's really special. Yeah. I think, do we have any other questions in the chat? Not at the moment. We're kind of coming to an end. So maybe we could like end on kind of like maybe a highlight of your time so far, a highlight of your practice, a highlight of courses, or anything else you'd like to add?
I think a highlight for me is that the courses are because there are quite a lot, and especially the masters and bachelors, the courses that are sort of combined, so you can be in the same classes with bachelor students and master students. That's also nice to get to know them as well. But what I really like is that it's never a really big class. It always feels in a way as if you're with this very passionate person talking about this specific thing that they are very, passionate about, and that they are sharing it with just like 8 people, for example. And that's really nice to get into that atmosphere and to, I don't know, to make them something together or make something separately. So I would say that's really nice.
Yeah.
And that you have 24/7 access to your studio. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. True.
Yeah. Is about the highlights of the courses or highlights of the studies?
Whatever sticks out the most.
Well, for me, I recently just finished my Kuvankeva. So
Yeah.
the Kuvankeva is the final show for the master degree students, and I think that was highlight for me. I just spent my every energies and my every time to it. So, and my work has been exhibited in the Kuvatila, which is the gallery in the Kuvatila Academia, in this Academy of Fine Arts building. So, yeah, the space is really, really modern. It's such a beautiful white cube space. So, yeah. I would say that's one thing I could mention so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me also, I think the teaching has been, experiencing the teaching methods here has been quite amazing, because as you said, it's so collegial. It's really, I mean, there's no sense of hierarchy, and it's really, you feel so comfortable discussing your concerns and what you're working on, and you don't feel judged. And it's, so yeah, that's been quite nice. And we've had so many wonderful courses this spring, like I learned how to make my own paper, which is like a big highlight. And I also learned how to operate a forklift for the lithography course, which I consider quite an accomplishment. Like I can operate a forklift now.
That's
so,
a skill. Whoa.
So, there's a whole range of skills that I think I picked up this semester.
Yeah. And we have time for another audience question before we say farewell. Yeah. So the question is the application process for masters calls for focusing on project for 2 years, and how much should you focus on this project in your application?
I think there should be some focus, but try not to box yourself in, is what I would say. Like there should be like a general idea of what you're interested in, what kind of themes or concerns you have that you're working on, but don't limit yourself too much going in, because there are so many possibilities. Once you enter the academy, you're confronted by all these different possibilities of what you can do, and then it would be a shame if you've already kind of restricted yourself in terms of your proposal.
Yeah, and even if you would do something different than what you sort of propose, that's also...
Yeah, that's fine. Exactly. Nobody holds you to that initial kind of proposal.
Because, I mean, you write it end of August, around that time, and then you start in January. So it makes sense if things have changed in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
Well, it's really difficult to say because the admission jury looks at the whole picture and makes the decisions. So it's difficult to say.
Yeah.
Just be open-minded to anything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But read the instructions carefully and the admission criteria. Yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, and read the whole page, I
read
think.
the whole page, yes.
Click all of the buttons.
Because we are not the admission jury, so we cannot give like very good answers on these because,
Yeah. I think if we don't have any more questions, we can wrap up for the day. Go look at everything you can find on the internet and definitely apply. Yeah, and make lots of art. So, yeah, thank you all very much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see what the inside of the university looks like, then you can watch this tour video. If you have any questions about student life, send an email to this email. And if you have any questions about admissions, then send your questions here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!